Hello, Reach Your Happy community, and welcome back to another episode of Reach Your Happy with Laura. Upon turning on this video, I don't know exactly what I'm here to say, but I did feel inspired to show up. I am going to start off with a little life update, I suppose. So, starting in October, I was having really tough periods. And I decided to go to the doctor because it was very abnormal for me. And they thought I may have had endometriosis, which wasn't ideal, but I didn't feel that to be true. So I went to a specialist, and I actually have uterine fibroids. So that can look all different types of ways, can affect you or not affect you, but it does impact 80% of women. So flash forward to January, where I was supposed to have an appointment, and it got rescheduled 24 hours before I was supposed to go. I was really bummed, but I deeply trust in divine timing, and that what I am ready for comes to me in that timing. So it got rescheduled, and then I had another appointment for the next month because you have to go at a certain day of your cycle. So it's very specific when you can get this ultrasound done. And so my appointment was for this past Tuesday. Today is Friday. And I'm there. I'm extremely anxious. I have sexual trauma, and it's just terrifying for me. And I'm sitting in the lobby waiting to be called in, and it's about 10 minutes past my appointment time now, and the woman calls me up to the front and says he had an emergency in the labor and delivery, so we have to push your appointment out again. Luckily, I got to go on Thursday, but it wasn't without some grief. So she told me that, and my eyes started to well up with tears naturally. And then I was told to go get blood work done because I needed that for my eventual surgery. And I went and got blood work done, and I was really emotional. And I've got a mask on, but you can still see tears in a mask. And the woman taking my blood was asking if I was all right, and really looked in my eyes and asked me if I was okay, which was really beautiful to be able to receive despite my sadness about not being seen, but also in a way relief, because I did not want that exam done. It is known to be painful, this kind of ultrasound, and I just wasn't interested in it. And she said, took my blood work. She said, I really want to give you a hug, but I can't. But I do believe that miracles happen all the time, so you just never know. I think maybe you go back and ask if you can get on a wait list. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea. So I went back, no wait list, but we'll get you in on Thursday morning. He doesn't have surgeries till later that day. So whatever. I get home, I'm just upset, And my best friend said, maybe you should have Brad come with you, my husband. And I was like, yeah, I actually think I need that. I think I need this kind of support. I talked to another one of my friends, and she said, it's important you recognize that you matter just as much as any other woman, even though you're not carrying a child, and birth is a big deal. You matter just as much as any other woman in that clinic. And that really struck a chord for me. This idea that I matter, that my ultrasound is just as important as a woman carrying another life is important. And to just claim I matter. I don't know if you can say that for yourself, even just trying and seeing how it fits or it doesn't. But it was such a huge release for me. I felt like my heart expanded 3 times the size. It was like, yes, I do matter. In past scenarios in my life, partnerships, different things that have happened, I have questioned if I mattered. And normal, right? With my mom being sick and her needing a lot of attention and care, and me not wanting to be a nuisance, I put my stuff on the back burner, and in essence was feeling like I didn't really matter that much. So to ask my husband to come with me to this appointment was a big stance of like, I matter, I am worth other people's time. He came with me. The appointment happened. He was there to hold my hand and talk me down afterwards because I was a bit shaky, and we were going to the other room to talk to the doctor about next steps, and I was rushing and getting ready, and he's like, sit, like, it's okay. It's over now. You're safe. He said, take your time. So take your time. You're not steady on your feet yet. And I was like, right. And allowing him to just hold me in that space and support me through that, and talking to the doctor, and I'm actually getting treated by another doctor who specializes in this type of surgery to remove the fibroid because it's quite large, and towards my back, which is a little bit more complicated because there's kidneys and different things back there. So that was a relief to get the diagnosis, to have a plan for the next steps. I'm not at the end of this, but this is a good step in between. And I want to reverse back to when I originally found out that there was something off. My tendency when something is physically off with me is to shut down. I don't share with people, and I often feel a bit frozen. This time I decided to approach it a little differently. I honed in on everything that I possibly could, from my work to my movement to my mental, through breath work, through meditation, yoga, martial arts. I really decided this time that I was going to allow this process to be transformational on every possible level that it could be, that I wasn't going to allow this bump in the road to derail me, but instead I was going to allow it to strengthen me. So wake up every single morning, and we have a gym set up outside now. So I wake up, get outside in that gym. I don't care how cold it is, I'm doing it. I meditate or do breath work or both every single day. I somehow recover my body. So we have an ice bath. We have been doing that a lot more regularly, and it is remarkable the mental clarity and peace that you get. I had a really anxious day the other day, and I'm not used to being anxious. And holy moly, if you deal with anxiety, yo, that is wild. It's wild. I mean, the minutes felt like hours. I would say to Brad, like, when I'm anxious, it feels like an hour of my day has been 3 days. Whereas when I am, anyways. So I'm getting off track here. I decided to hone in on what I did have power over. And it's been a real mental challenge having my appointments pushed back, but I've learned a great deal about choosing myself, that when you're not in a physical space, it usually affects your mental. It usually affects your emotional. So I had to pull back from social things because I just didn't have the bandwidth for that. I had to pull back on workouts and different movements because it affects my uterus area. I love yoga, but it is hard to bend forward. It is hard to put jeans on. It is hard to wear anything other than stretchy pants because it's pushing all my guts in a weird direction that I'm not used to. So I've just had to adjust. I can't do deadlifts because I can't like properly lift down. So I had to do single leg stuff. And I've just continued to have to adjust my life around this situation. But in the past, I have let the situation override all of that and be the driver. And this time I decided I was going to be the driver. You know what? This pain exists, this discomfort, this crazy periods, they exist, but I am not going to halt myself because of something that could derail me. I've been derailed before, and I don't want to do that. I want to allow this to strengthen me. And I have never been as confident, as clear, as feeling like I matter, that I am valuable, that I am worthy, that I am loved and cared for. Like, this has just opened my eyes to so much. It has been so clarifying about what matters to me. And I've had to make myself a priority. And I didn't realize until I was in this predicament how much I wasn't making myself a priority. And I think that's just how it goes, that we don't know something till we know something, but we often don't learn about a thing until it hurts. So I am so thankful that I have the support around me that I do. But I'll say, even if you don't have physical people around you, the inner strength and guidance you have within you is unmatched. Now, Brad and my friends and family have been there for me, but without my willingness to dig into this and ask, what is this about? Not what caused this necessarily. That was one part of the journey, like figuring out, like, where is this stemming from? But more so, what is my desire through this experience? So not, oh, it was, in October, I decided to do a reverse diet where I eat a significant more amount of calories, which I gained weight from, because that's what the purpose was, so I could also put on muscle mass. And that's when this all started. So was that the beginning? What did this just highlight something that was already going on? I'm not sure, but I know that this thing exists within me, but I'm mostly focused on the desire. I want to be empowered. I want to feel clear. I want to feel supported. I want to move courageously through my life experience. And I have learned so much through this period of discomfort and suffering. And it's not over yet, but I feel like my head's above water. The past 2 weeks, I have been anticipating this appointment. I got my period, was really hurting. And then, okay, the appointment's Tuesday. I couldn't work out Monday, really, the period week, and then also this week because I was so anxious, and I knew, because I've been really lifting and moving in ways that are ask me to really be involved with my mental space. I knew that I didn't have the bandwidth to both continue with my normal exercise and show up for this without it costing me something. Maybe that's a cold that comes on, or a headache, or deep fatigue. I was like, through this process, I've learned how to gauge what's appropriate for me right now. So I have another appointment lined up with a different doctor who's going to be able to do this surgery for me. I have no idea the timeline on it, but I'm really okay with that. Mostly because I'm finding meaning in my suffering. I have to. Really, I have to, because the other way through this, which I've done before, is feeling like a victim, and I'm not a victim, I'm a victor. I chose that, I claim it, I matter, and what I'm going through, I know, not just serves me, but it serves my community. So, that is my life update. I hope you took something away from it. I hope it was helpful in some form or another. I love you so much, and I will be in touch soon. Take care. Bye-bye.